Market research has come a long way from its beginnings in the mid-1890s. At that time, one or two word answers to telegram questions was the most a researcher could hope for. Today, with the aid of computer analysis and forecasting and innovative methodologies, market research, as performed by companies such as Cincinnati, Ohio-based Burke Incorporated, is an important and dynamic component of modern business.
Burke was founded in 1931 by Alberta Burke, who was in the marketing department of the Procter & Gamble company. And at that time, there were not a lot of formalized marketing research companies in the U.S. and certainly not in the world. The methodologies used were primarily door-to-door. Telephone was not a very widely penetrated service at that time in the early 30s.
Burke CEO Robert Tatum says global events marked the start of studied consumer research.
Then along came World War II. World War II saw the opening up of the psychological side of research.
Burke's methodologies evolved with new media technology.
And then in the 60s and 70s, we made the change from saying, we're not just going to count these ideas and share them with our customers. We're going to try to work more with our customers on how to use these ideas to make decisions. In the 80s and 90s, we started developing processes that we could use to work with a client and say, what's your basic decision you're making? What kind of information would let you make that decision? So it's a long path from head counting in the 1920s or the telegrams in 1895, 96 to what we're trying to do today.
We are trying to find creative ways to reach the customers, and so we are going to methods of phone interviewing and web interviewing and multi-mode methods to try to address some of those.
Burke perfected a revised type of analytical strategy to help clients pinpoint their exact needs. This enables Burke to come up with targeted, innovative solutions.
Defining the research question is very critical in the upfront stages to determine what your blueprint will be for the entire research process.
The account executive will sit down with the client and try to determine whether or not what the client believes is the problem really is the case, or if we need to broaden the scope.
In going through that discussion, they'll realize maybe they've been focusing on too narrow an issue. Maybe they've been focusing on possibly the wrong problem.
Employing critical thinking in the problem deduction phase, Burke is able to create a highly refined approach. And once the research question is defined, the research process is developed. A quantifiable unit such as time, frequencies, or occasion is selected. Then Burke moves into the next stage.
For sampling, we typically do the best we can at creating a sample that in our judgment represents adequately a population of individuals or companies or processes, and we will do this with the help of specialty organizations.
Once the problem audit has been completed, the research objectives identified, field research begins.
After our sales force has met with the client, after there has been a research design and telephone data collection has been the selected research methodology, that's where we take over in the telephone centers.
I'm Melissa Curry with Burke Research in Cincinnati, Ohio. This evening we're conducting a study about consumer products, and we would really appreciate your opinions for this study. Just to be certain, am I speaking with someone who's at least 21 years of age or older?
Telephone studies represent about 70% of our research, as opposed to mall intercept studies, mail-only studies, internet studies. Those are other methods of data collection.
Burke applies a multimedia approach as it continues to refine IT solutions in its research options.
If you allow people to respond in more than one way, whether it be phone or web or whatever is the most efficient way for them, then the likelihood that you're going to get a response is much better.
This ease in interactivity serves to increase the number of study participants and measurably cut the time required to process the collected data.
The internet enables us to pass sample information automatically without having to rely on paper and rely on paper records. Directly from the database over to the survey that gets collected. And so as a result of that, that saves time.
Burke's high-speed paperless computing turns large amounts of raw field data into sorted and organized, meaningful data. Speedy turnarounds and keeping current with computer technology has been pivotal to Burke's market success.
Clients need the information much faster than they seem to in the past. Decisions need to be made much more quickly than they were in the past, and companies need to move faster than they did in the past.
A key component of Burke's computer-assisted approach to real-time research is its digital dashboard.
Through Digital Dashboard, not only do we have the ability to push our results out to our clients when the project is finished, but we also have the ability to show them the data as it's being collected.
What you're looking at is seeing information broken out into different groups. You might see information by total respondents, and then you might see information broken out by males and females, or broken out by businesses of fewer than 100 employees versus businesses who have more than 100 employees. Essentially, you're looking at different breaks of the data to try to understand what's happening there. Are there differences that exist depending on different criteria, and how can we make decisions based on that?
Still following a tailored research continuum, once data is collected, sorted, and analyzed, the next phase to fold in is the tabulation, sorting, and study, which helps Burke yield a macro-analysis report to present. This report merges the work of the entire research process and presents the client with a focused answer.
The report writing process is the entire research process documented, and not documented from the point of view of explaining to a reader what I did as a researcher, but rather documenting to the reader that this was the problem, here's the way a decision's going to be made, and here's the information that helps make the decision, and yes, here's the decision, because we collected this information, and here's what it leads to.
The key for marketing research to come all together would be to have a very clear blueprint of what you're doing on the front end. So the better able you are to define a very specific research problem and a very specific research process that addresses that problem, and then create a blueprint that has a plan that everyone can follow and everyone buys into, that's the key to a successful implementation of a research project.
The goal for us is to make our clients have better decision-making abilities and make our clients' companies more valuable and make them more valuable to their companies.
Burke's value proposition to clients is taking clients full circle, from initially helping the customer define their own market research problem to employing new technologies to collect targeted, relevant, raw data, distilling it quickly and clarifying the solution in the client's final report and presentation. Marketing research, as shown by Burke, requires a near Socratic line of questioning, attention to detail, clear communication with clients, and an efficient utilization of emerging technology. For Pearson Video Library, I'm Mary Mendoza.